Welcome to 4C Visions. I'm your host, R.V. Hight, Director of Communications at Central Carolina Community College. In this edition of 4C Visions, it is my pleasure to welcome Amy Bettini, Cccc Veterinary Medical Technology Instructor. A graduate of the Cccc VMT program, she has served in a variety of roles in the veterinary field, including work at the North Carolina State College of Veterinary Medicine. She joined the Cccc VMT faculty in 2015. Amy, welcome to 4C Visions.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Well, why don't you introduce us to your friend there?
This is Nala. She is one of our colony cats. She's about a year old and she's up for adoption. She's very sweet.
Wonderful. Well, formerly known as the Animal Hospital Technician Curriculum, the Cccc VMT was the first of its kind in North Carolina when it began in September 1965. The name changed to Veterinary Medical Technology in September 1968. Amy, what kinds of information do VMT students learn in the program?
So basically the best way to explain it is the students learn everything that nursing students do, but we learn it on 17 different species. We learn everything from basic restraint to dogs and cats on up to horses and cows and goats and exotics. We teach them how to monitor anesthesia, how to assist in surgery, how to place catheters, draw blood. In addition to all of that, we also learn how to take radiographs and how to professionally speak with clients.
Wow. Well, how many students does the program include each year, and how long does it take for a student to complete the program?
So we enroll up to 64 students. At any given time, with there being 2 classes, we have about 100 students at a time. And I forgot the question, the second part of the question.
And I was just wondering what...
5 semesters.
Right.
So first year students complete a fall semester, spring semester, and then a summer semester. And then second year students finish out with a fall and a spring, and then they graduate in the spring.
And do you normally, are your classes generally filled for the year? Is it a very popular program?
Yes, it is. We just started with selective admissions. Because the program was so popular, we really wanted to make sure we had students who were very interested in learning about this field. So it's very, very popular, and it's full. It's full.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, how are students involved in practice learning, such as mock clinics and externships?
So again, they do externships in their second year, and that means they go out to different veterinary practices and work and learn. We also have on-site animals, so we can practice with our colony animals, which, by the way, are always up for adoption. And we also, in the spring of their second year, set up a mock clinic. So we see patients and clients, we take radiographs, give vaccines, and do surgeries, and complete dental prophies as well.
Well, when our students graduate, are there plentiful jobs available in the field?
Yeah, that's one of the great things about this profession. Once you obtain your degree and then complete boards, you're a registered veterinary technician. At that time, the whole world is open to you. You can work in general practices, you can go into specialty, you can go into academia, pharmaceutical sales representatives. You could, again, teach like we're doing. There's just so many options. You could do zoo medicine, exotic medicine. The whole world is open to you.
Well, if someone is interested in applying or learning more about the program, what do they need to do?
So the first thing you'd want to do is go to the cccc.edu website and then search for Veterinary Medical Technology. And on our webpage, you will see all the information that you need in order to apply for the program. And like I said before, we do have selective admissions. So there's a series of tasks that you should complete prior to being enrolled in the program. Our admissions counselor is Daniel Burnt, and he is full of helpful information. His contact information is on the VMT website as well. So you can speak with him and he can go into specifics about what exactly you need to get into the program.
Well, Amy, you're a former student in the program and you've come back to work. Tell us a little bit about how you first came to CCCC as a student, and what do you think makes this program so special?
Well, I knew I wanted to work with animals, but I wasn't convinced that I wanted to go to vet school. So I just started looking into what other roles I could do, and one of them was to be a nurse to the animals, and that's when I decided to attend this program. I chose this program because they have on-site animals, and I felt like that was going to give me a better education. This program is special for so many reasons, but I think the two biggest reasons is that we have our on-site animals. I think that helps us to teach our students a little bit better, as well as to have compassion. Yeah. And then our faculty, we're so passionate about this profession, and it really shows. And I think that that is passed along to the students as well.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, Amy, thank you for being with us today, and we will return right after these messages.
Thank you.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you?
You know you do.
Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome,
I think we're breathtaking.
and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this.
Is that Bran?
Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together.
Go to GetSchooled.com for more info.
And then from this angle, it all makes a star.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore.
Show up
And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible.
And then we're gonna turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Finally won. What's your reaction gonna be? Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
This is their world.
There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Today, we welcome Megan Kelly, CCCC Veterinary Medical Technology Instructor and Animal Facilities Manager. A graduate of the CCCC Veterinary Medical Technology Program, she is completing her bachelor's degree in veterinary technology at St. Petersburg College in Florida. She worked at an animal hospital as lead veterinary technician until joining the CCCC staff in 2013. Megan, welcome to 4C Visions.
Thank you for having me. It's a joy to be on your show.
Well, tell us a little about your friend.
This is Henry Paul, and he came to us from a shelter, and he's about 3 years old. He is neutered, and he is full of love and is adoptable.
Okay. Well, Megan, you must have developed a tremendous love for animals with a job as Animal Facilities Manager. When did you develop your love for animals?
Well, probably 5 seconds after being born, I would say. My mother would attest to the fact that since I was able to talk or walk, I was always talking about animals or walking towards animals. I grew that passion in high school, and I tried to volunteer at shelters when I could and at hospitals when I could. And after a short stint at NC State where I was trying to figure out what I wanted for my career goals, I was trying to find out if I wanted to be a veterinarian or a technician. I found out about this program at Cccc, and the rest is history.
Well, as Animal Facilities Manager, how many animals do you normally have at a time?
It can vary depending on how many adoptions we have going through at one time, but in general, we usually have about 20 to 25 cats and about 17 to 21 dogs at any given time. And our new building will actually double that size. In the summer, we actually also have rats, rabbits, and mice that are adoptable as well, and we usually keep 10 to 20 of each of those species.
Well, many of the animals are available for adoption. If someone were interested in adopting one of the animals, what would they need to do?
We are actually very excited to roll out our new website, which is cougarpets.org. And at that website, you can find all the information you would need to move forward with adopting one of our cougar pets. The application is online, and that gets sent straight to me for review. There also is a little meet and greet button that you can click if you want to set up an appointment to meet one of the critters as well. If you aren't sure, if you're thinking of maybe you see Trigger and you see Kimber and you're like, which one should I go with? You can actually meet them and see which one you should take home.
And now, what is your adoption rate for the facility?
Our adoption rate is currently 100%. Some semesters we have a 99.8% adoption rate, but generally it's 100%.
Wow. Well, what advice do you have for someone who is thinking about adopting an animal, either from your facility or in general?
In general, you should be patient. Should expect it could take up to about 8 weeks for your new pet to feel comfortable in your home. That goes especially true if you have other animals in your home already, because you're shifting dynamics, bringing in a new sibling, if you will. So being patient, being supportive to your new pet, and understanding that it's a life-changing, life-altering, very big decision for them when you take them and you put them in a new environment. So there's an adjustment period, making sure that they have a good quality veterinarian available in case anything were to go awry. Sometimes these kids get a little nervous, they might eat or chew something, which could lead them to need veterinary care. So having a good support network for yourself and for your pet will make any kind of adoption successful.
Well, Cougar Pets is a no-kill nonprofit rescue organization affiliated with the Central Carolina Community College Veterinary Medical Technology Program. Megan, tell our audience what Cougar Pets is all about.
Cougar Pets is all about second chances. We go into shelters and we try to target high-kill shelters in particular to save animals that would otherwise be euthanized in these shelters that don't have the option of being no-kill, which is an unfortunate reality due to pet overpopulation. So we try and go in and pull guys like Henry Paul so they can have second chances, and it also allows our students to have that on-site colony of animals that they can learn their hands-on skills with, which allows them to be an asset in the field upon graduation.
Well, what do you want your students to learn by working in the CCCC VMT animal facilities?
Our main goal is to give them hands-on experience with the animals, which also leads them to have respect for our animals, to show that the veterinary technician is a very important pivotal role in the hospital, all the way from cleaning kennels and cat cages to doing the things that Amy talked about earlier regarding radiology and dentistry and anesthesia. But it's a bottom-up process where they need to learn to take care of the animals first and respect them so that they can move on to doing the fun technician things.
Well, as a graduate of the CCCC Vet Med program, what do you think makes the program so special, and why did you decide to get into it?
I think that the on-site animals is probably the hallmark of this program. It's what has kept this program strong since 1965. And they're just wonderful to work with. It's wonderful to be able to go in and not only talk about, well, this is how you draw blood from a cephalic vein, but actually be able to go in and look at your animal, draw blood from them, actually run the blood panel to check and see if they're healthy. Being able to have that instant satisfaction of working on an actual patient and helping that patient's quality of life is a hallmark that not many other programs have. And also, I chose to come here because I wanted to work with animals, and I knew that that was my burning passion, but I wasn't really sure if I could cut it as a veterinarian or if that was something that I even wanted to do. So I found out about this program, and I signed up, and I was super pleased to know that there were animals on site I could take care of. And also, our faculty is extremely dedicated to the profession, to teaching. There are not many other faculty members that I have met that are as passionate about making sure that their students are successful throughout their entire academic career.
What sort of advice would you give to our listeners who may be thinking about trying to find more information about the VMT program?
Our website is a wonderful tool, ccc.edu, and if you search for veterinary medical technology, that'll take you to our website there. But also, our faculty members are always open to talking with prospective students and giving you an idea of what it really takes to be a technician and what our academic program is like. So you're always welcome to drop by, talk to Daniel Barrett, who is on our website, or drop by our faculty suite and just chat with us. We're always happy to share the realities of veterinary technicians and what we can do for the world.
Well, Megan, we thank you for being with us today, and we will return right after these messages. Welcome back to 4C Visions. Today we welcome Dr. Jessica Holt, CCCC Veterinary Medical Technology Instructor. A native of Tennessee, she is a graduate of Tennessee Technological University and received her doctorate of veterinary medicine from the University of Tennessee. She served in several small animal veterinary practices before joining the CCCC faculty. Dr. Holt, welcome to 4C Visions.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Ground has been broken for the new 13,600 square foot veterinary medical technology building at Central Carolina Community College's Lee Main campus in Sanford. The project is just one that is being made possible through the $23 million Central Carolina Community College bond referendums approved in November 2014. Dr. Holt, this must be an exciting time for the CCCC VMT program.
Absolutely. We are so excited about what's to come with our program and the opportunities this new building will bring us. Overall, it gives us the opportunity to expand our programs, to possibly increase our current class sizes, but also maybe to add some new programs into the VMT program. We're considering maybe some grooming certificates or behavior certificates or veterinary assisting. So there's a wide variety of options that come from this new facility in the works.
Well, before we go on with our new facilities, why don't you introduce us to your friend?
So this is Grant. Grant is a little terrier mix, Chihuahua terrier mix. He's about 5 to 6 years old, we think, and he is available for adoption.
Wonderful. That's great. Well, what are some of the plans for the new facilities in terms of what's going to be available in the facility?
Yeah, well, one of our most exciting things for our animals is that they're all getting new kennel facilities and new cat wards. So our current space, we've got about 12 runs that we share with some of the dogs living together. And the new facility is going to have 50 individually housed dog runs. So we'll be able to increase our capacity for animals that we can rescue. And then also our cat wards, we currently have room for about 25 to 30. And we'll increase our capacity up to 75 for the cats. So we're very excited to have some new space for them, to have some better equipment and technology to come along with that for our students as well. We're going to have a new clinical practices lab, which is basically the facility the second years spend most of their hands-on time in. So when they're practicing their anesthesia and their dentistry, they'll have brand new equipment to work with, as well as a new nice clean facility with new technology in it. Then there will also be a laboratory techniques lab, which is going to be a microscope lab basically, where the students will learn how to do microbiology, bacterial cultures, urinalysis, blood counts, blood chemistries, a variety of things that they'll get hands-on practice when they get samples from our current dogs and cats. In addition to that, there's also some classrooms that we'll have available that are just general learning space, so that'll go into being able to expand our programs.
Well, with the expansion of the facilities, I assume that will allow for a greater number of animals to be housed.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll almost double our numbers of our current dogs and cats. The rabbits and mice and rats that we have in the summer will probably stay about the same, but other than that, the ones that live with us long term, those will be there in greater numbers.
Well, with the construction of the new facilities, will you still be utilizing the older facilities?
Yes, sir. Some of that bond money we've set aside to help just give a little facelift to our current building because we don't want it to go to waste. So we're going to update some electrical and heating and air systems, some of the stuff that's not quite as much fun to talk about, but also give the classroom a facelift in there so it works more like a practical classroom. And the place will also be used for isolation of dogs or cats that may get sick or incoming animals that need to be quarantined before they can go down to the other colony.
Well, how beneficial do you think these facilities will be for the VMT program?
This is going to be a huge benefit to our program. The possibilities, I would say, are endless as far as where we can go from here. We're so excited to have the opportunity for more animals to work with, gives us greater capacity for class size to increase, and also it gives us a little bit less stress on each of our animals. So they're spayed and neutered, they're ready to go, and we can adopt out more.
Well, as a doctor of veterinary medicine, I want to ask you, first of all, how you must have a love for animals. When did you develop that love for animals?
I would say that started as a small child. I've been volunteering at the animal shelter since I was about 7 to 8 years old, and then from there started working in practices when I was old enough to do so as an assistant before going on to vet school. So I've always had a love for animals and would pick up anything I could find. I had box turtles that I found on the side of the road. You never know what I'd come home with.
Well, what are some of the most common issues that you see involving small animals like dogs and cats?
Most common issues, well, really they can kind of span the gamut of any health issues you can see in people. So we see everything from diabetes to heart disease. Unfortunately, we see cancers very commonly as well. So all of that are the things that we'll see fairly routinely. Then we also have things that are a little more specific to dogs and cats, fleas and ticks, of course, things that people deal with on a daily basis. Heartworm disease is very prevalent in this area, and those are transmitted by mosquitoes. So we try and educate people on how to prevent those with some monthly preventative pills. And then other issues we might see might be different behavioral concerns. So learning how to train your dog to cooperate with you or interact with other animals appropriately, or children or something like that. So a lot of variety of issues that we'll see and address in a day, and that's one thing about this field that's exciting for our students, I would say, is that you never know what you're going to see. Every day is always going to be a little different, and even if it's a similar case, it's probably going to present to you differently than the last one did.
Well, I know sometimes it's not a popular thing for people to want to go to a doctor. Do you find the same thing for animals in terms of their owners not taking them to the doctor on a regular basis like they need to?
Yeah, it depends on the person, but sometimes we do find that they're a little resistant to take them in because either they don't realize that their animal is sick, especially with cats. They are very good at hiding their illnesses until they're very, very ill. Or other reasons might be financial concerns, or they just don't see it as a priority, especially when it comes to the routine things. But when their animal's sick, they realize how important that would have been to do initially.
Right. Well, what advice would you give to owners of small animals or people who may be thinking of adopting an animal, what they need to be aware of before taking on that responsibility?
It is a big decision, so I would say to tell people who are considering adopting an animal to consider the extent of care that they're able to provide. So you're going to need to annually vaccinate your animal. There's going to be the cost of food. There's going to be the cost of possibly boarding facilities if you go out of town. Take into account all of that so that they're prepared for when they get this animal home and it doesn't seem like a surprise. That's unfortunately how a lot of our animals end up back into a shelter, is that they were kind of an impromptu decision. So if you contemplate it and figure out what's going to fit best for you, that may be beneficial. Also to take into account their lifestyle. So if you are the person that likes to go jogging, you probably want a high energy dog. You probably don't want a cat that's going to lay around and do nothing all day. But if you're the person that really just wants to cuddle, then maybe a cat or a small dog that's a little friendly and likes to cuddle is a good choice for you. So personalities are a huge part of our animals, and they play a huge part in how they fit into our families.
And I imagine that their personalities are so varied
Absolutely.
From animal to animal.
Absolutely. So Grant here is getting a little wiggly, but he's usually a big cuddle bug who likes to get his belly rubbed. But Chihuahuas in general, sometimes they're not quite as cuddly. Sometimes they like to kind of do their own thing, so you never know. And that's why a meet and greet's always a good idea when you're thinking about getting a new pet, whether it be a young puppy or an older dog, to see how they kind of fit with you.
Well, what do you think makes the CCCC Vet Med program so special and popular?
I think this program is a special program in part because, of course, we've all mentioned that we've got animals on site, and that's a huge part of it. But also, we have a long history with this program. The program's been around for 50 years at this point, so we've had ability to develop and kind of learn from our students what is the best way to teach and what's the best thing that they need to know. So we've had time to kind of adapt to them rather than a new program that, while we do the best we can, it can be a struggle to kind of know how to teach it best. So we've kind of had a time to filter out all of the little ifs, ands, and how do we do this. But that, I think, is a huge component. Hey, buddy.
Well, that's wonderful. And Dr. Holt, we thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
And audience, we thank you for being with us today on 4C Visions.